every type has strengths and weaknesses, and you don't need to feel like you need to shut off your strengths or shut off who you really are in order to be accepted, in order to fit in, because that actually just neuters you. And that is not what people want either. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today's video was inspired by the Netflix reality show, The Circle Season 4, which I've been watching recently. In particular, my observations of Crissa and Yu Ling, who are both ESTPs, and my observations of similar negative responses they get from the other contestants.
Message. I definitely feel where you're coming from with Yu Ling. I feel like when we first started, we got lots of personality, and I just don't know what happened to it.
Okay, so Frank isn't sold on Yu Ling. That's not false.
Alyssa, honestly, I have almost no relationship with Crissa because she shares nothing, ... She holds her cards too close to her chest, so I don't think she'll ever gain genuine trust from me, at least. Whoa. It's so disappointing.
I wanted to dedicate this video in particular to women out there who are introverted thinking types. So their personality types with the function introverted thinking TI as a dominant function. Women with TI tend to be very misunderstood because of our current societal and cultural values and definitions of gender roles, in particular what a woman should be. As a result, they often find social situations and relationships quite difficult to navigate. And from my own experiences with introverted thinking types, whether it be my clients, my own family, my friends, men or women, actually, I feel compelled to try to explain who they really are and to let them know that they're okay like the rest of us. So firstly, what is introverted thinking? What is TI, and which personality types have it as a dominant function? So as you can see here, these are the 4 personality types that have TI, introverted thinking, as a dominant function, meaning the TI is either the first or the second position. So as you can see, they are the STPs and the NTPs. So what is TI? TI, introverted thinking, is a decision-making function. And how TI makes decisions is based on their personal framework of logic. They are basically problem solvers, and they view every situation as a problem to be solved or a situation to be optimized. So what they look at when they evaluate a decision is what the problems are, what is lacking, what is the outcome I want to achieve or we want to achieve. And they also look at what is the utility of a situation, or what is the utility of something or someone. And they look at all the practicalities and therefore come up with the best solution, what makes most sense in terms of what the goals are and what the problem is. And their own personal preferences, their own feelings are completely irrelevant to them. And so when they make decisions and they evaluate things, it always comes from quite an objective, value detached place. And this is versus the polar opposite on the other end of the spectrum is introverted feeling, FI, where FI makes decisions based on their personal preferences, feelings, and values. Things have to align with their internal value system as opposed to logic. And so where TI, introvert thinking, is logical because there's always a trail of explanation to justify their decision, FI, introverted feeling, is inherently irrational because what you prefer and how you feel does not necessarily require an explanation. And so, unfortunately, and quite unfairly, the problem with having TI as a dominant function as a woman is that a lot of cultures and societies still to this day expect women to be more FI, introverted feeling, rather than TI, introverted thinking. And ideally a dominant FI as well, a dominant feeling type. And with personality types, you are either FI or TI. There's no type that has both. TI as a dominant function also makes a person, whether man or woman, quite sharp and blunt at times. And this is because TI introverted thinking is ultimately a truth-seeking function. It's seeking what makes sense, what works, what the truth is, regardless of feelings, regardless of their own feelings or yours. And so their natural instinct is therefore to be quite blunt with the truth and to point out the facts, call out the BS, and highlight logical inconsistencies. And again, current society does not accept that in a woman. I think men get away with that a bit more. And so little girls growing up with introverted thinking TI rather than FI, introverted feeling, are often made to feel that something's wrong with them or that there is something lacking in them. And these include that, they're not feminine enough, or that they're not in touch with their feelings enough, or that they're hard to read, and also that they are too blunt or lack tactfulness and emotional grace. And these are actually quite hurtful accusations to TI types, men or women, because anyone with TI as a dominant function, as the top two function, would automatically also have extroverted feeling, FE, as a lower function. And what is FE? FE, extroverted feeling, aims for emotional and relational harmony. They aim to be able to relate to other people well, respond to other people's feelings and values, and connect with people. And with all types, our lower functions are what we aspire to be good at, but not necessarily feel confident in. And so as a lower function with FE, it means that TI dominant types have this wish to be good at relating and connecting with other people, but because it's a lower function, they don't feel competent in doing so, or they often have the desire but not the skill of how to. And lower functions as well are exhausting for us to use in the long run. We need breaks to use our lower functions. So with all this in mind, what I've observed, particularly in women with TI, is that they develop one of several coping mechanisms. One coping mechanism would be that they try to make up for their perceived lack of social skills or, navigation skills around people. So therefore the FE, extroverted feeling, by geeking out on the subject. So they make up for it with their TI, their dominant function, which means they invest a lot of time in researching and learning about human behavior, about psychology, about personality type systems, whether it's MBTI, what I do, Enneagrams, even astrology, in order to figure out a logical framework and structure for them to figure people out and know how to navigate people better. Another strategy some TI women take is to completely shut off their dominant function. So completely shut off TI. And what does that mean? That means they stop calling out the truth. They stop being honest and upfront. They just keep stum about what they see. They don't voice their take on things. They don't voice when they're seeing kind of inconsistencies in situations and people. And they sort of double down on their lower function, FE, extroverted feeling, which means they focus on others way more, about pleasing other people, about hearing other people out, about, focusing on other people's needs. And although that may work in terms of them being accepted by others, in the long run, because I said it's a lower function, the FE, it's exhausting. And they eventually burn out and sort of have a crisis of identity. A third coping mechanism, which is sort of the more negative extreme I've seen, is that these TI women just completely shut everything off. No TI, no FE. No FE because they can't be bothered with people anymore, because they've gotten so much criticism, negative feedback over the years that they're like, I don't care. I don't care about anyone anymore. And they also shut off the TI, the truth-seeking function, the function that goes out there and wants to solve problems for people, because they don't care. They don't care about people or themselves anymore, and therefore, what's the point? What's the point? TI is a very goal-orientated function. And this situation is really sad to see, because they basically don't express themselves. It's almost they're being a neutered version of themselves. They become more and more isolated and more cold and more depressed. So who are these women with TI as a dominant function? How do I see them with the knowledge of personality types? So I see them as actually very sincere and upfront people. And I find that actually mega refreshing, because they mainly care about the truth, and they have an internal acceptance that the truth can be hurtful, can be painful. The truth is the truth. It does not take into account your personal feelings and shift and change to make you feel better. That is not what the truth is about. And TI types are people who are invested in getting a good outcome and not necessarily what feels good. So they are the best people to speak your mind with, because you never feel that they would take anything personally. Like even criticism, if the place you're coming from is from a place where you're just trying to help them solve a problem or help them be better people, help them optimize. Optimize is sort of what TI does in general. They take it. They're very open to your honesty, and they actually love your honesty. I also feel that because of the lower extroverted feeling function, FE, TI types in general are deeply caring people. They deeply want to be better at relating to others and meeting people's needs. But because it's a lower function, they don't necessarily know how to achieve that. And that's where they sort of feel stuck, because with lower functions as well, we're a bit more reluctant to use them, I guess, depending on how low this lower function is. And, the simplest thing you'd think, or the advice I would give, is if you're not sure how to meet someone's needs, just ask, because FE that's what it does. It opens people up. Whereas as a lower function, they're stuck because they want to fulfill people's needs, but they don't know how. But at the same time, they're reluctant to open people up, to just reach out. And with TI women in particular, I suppose, again, it comes back to the current societal values that even if they know how to meet your needs, the manner in which they go about it does not align with society's expectations of what women should do, because they go about it in quite like a problem-solving, no-nonsense sort of way. Another point is TI women, or TI anyone, they need instruction. They need to be told how to meet your needs. In fact, they love being told. They love if someone is just upfront about what they should do, because that is the most efficient way to achieve their goal, to, make you happy, to fulfill you. They don't want to play any mind games or guessing or, take hints. And again, in our current society, I suppose in regards to relationships, that's not the way that people like to receive love and care. People define thoughtfulness as, you're doing something for me without me even saying it. You're reading my mind, therefore you love me. And this is like not just romantic, like friendships as well, and family as well. But TI types do not operate that way. They just rather you just say. And again, I guess men get away with it more than women in this case. Like there's an expectation that, he's a dude, like, therefore he's like this. Whereas I think women who are like this way get a bit more criticism. And like my examples from the show The Circle on Netflix with the contestants Crissa and Yu Ling, when people feel that TI dominant women are not giving anything or lack personality, it's often because people are digging for FI, introverted feeling. They're digging for what do they personally feel about something, what do they value and why. However, these women don't have FI. Instead, they have FE, extroverted feeling, as a lower function. So therefore, it means that they have to source their values and how they feel about things from the external. FE is an extroverted function. And so they tend to build their identity by absorbing values, how they should feel about things from whatever groups or community that they decide to identify with. So for example, The Circle, Season 4, Yu Ling and Crissa, I've typed both as ESTPs. So they both have TI, Introverted Thinking, as a dominant function in the second spot. They have Extroverted Feeling as a third function, as a lower function, but also FI, Introverted Feeling, as a blind spot function. So what does that mean? It means that their blind spot makes them naturally not reflect or think about their own intrinsic feelings, values, and their own personal preferences. Therefore, as I said, they need to form their identity and their values from an external source first. You can see that Crissa has adopted the values and identity of communities that she feels fully embraced by, namely the LGBTQ community and her basketball athletic community, which is why I feel she seems way more comfortable in her own skin, because her sense of identity is solid. She feels that she really belongs in these groups, and therefore that is who she is. Versus Yu Ling, who is also an ESTP, who I don't feel has really found where she fits in. She's currently sourcing her identity and values from her Chinese cultural background and also from maybe fashion communities that have like a loud and colorful, expressive aesthetic. But I don't think she feels fully accepted or a belonging in any collective group, which is why people on the show have felt that she came in all guns blazing, like she has all these values on display. But when they actually interact with her, it falls flat because her sense of identity, in my opinion, is not as solid as Crissa's. So in conclusion, the message I want to give is that this is the value of knowing your personality type and also realizing that there are 16 different personality types, because that means there are actually 16 ways of being, 16 ways of seeing the world, of making decisions, of evaluating situations, of approaching life. And I hope that this knowledge can foster both self-acceptance and also acceptance of others. To women with TI as a dominant function out there, what I would like to tell you is that you are okay as you are. Every type has strengths and weaknesses, and you don't need to feel like you need to shut off your strengths or shut off who you really are in order to be accepted, in order to fit in, because that actually just neuters you. It doesn't make you more feminine or more acceptable. It actually diminishes you, diminishes your identity. And that is not what people want either. People want others to have personality, to have a soul. And there are 16 types, and so many types would appreciate you. You do not need to follow and believe that one narrative that society has forced upon all of us. And being your true self is actually, I argue, the most efficient way to attract the types that do appreciate you. So thank you for watching and listening. If you liked this video and found it helpful, then please do like and subscribe. If you wanted to book a session with me to find out and analyze your personality type to help you navigate relationships, life choices, then please find contact details in the description box below.